So we're going to rock this is going to be kind of a combo workout. This can be either a follow along, whether you want to do this live, whether you want to save it for a replay. This is also something you can use as a live accountability body doubling session, or again, save it where you just do your own workout, but it's just helpful to have someone you're working out along with. We're going to be focusing on some upper body, a little bit more like functional mobility of the shoulders, and then some arm work. How does that sound, by the way, Rosie? I'm going to check in with you and see.
That sounds good. I'm down for a different location. Change it up a little bit.
Awesome. And how's your body feeling, by the way, like soreness wise?
I feel like since I took it a little bit easier this week, just with movement, I feel like I'm not too bad. I didn't do too crazy lifting and stuff. I did some workouts, but nothing heavy.
Good. Okay. So we'll kind of keep that theme. This is going to be a little bit more again, functional, a little bit more range of motion, movement, or it's all movement, but being able to have it be a little bit less intensive, but still very effective and shaping. So with that being said, we're going to get warm first. And one of the things that I wanted to kind of break down, because we're going to be focusing a lot on the shoulder area, on the capsule around that. I'm going to take a step back. And I'm going to be using my watch as a timer, so we're not going to have a timer on the screen. If you guys end up saving this, I might in post-edit put on a timer, so you might see that. But for the live peeps, we're not going to have an editor. That's where it's helpful, or I should say a timer. It's helpful to have it. But for about 30 to 60 seconds, I just want to get some no impact jumping jacks. So we're literally just swinging our arms, swinging our legs, going side to side. And the intent here is range of motion while simultaneously bringing our body temperature and our heart rate up. But we're not trying to, again, hammer it and get right to zone 5. Right now, what we're doing is just range of motion and slowly kind of moving the body. I'm going to just slightly bring the camera up a little bit. So it's going to be more from my thighs, my shoulders, so you guys can kind of see that. And again, if you want to, as this starts to feel good, now we're getting into about the 20 to 30 second mark, you can start to either add impact or start to add different movement, whether you want to step forward with your opposite leg instead of going out to the side, we can change range, or again, we can start to add impact if that feels good. Honestly, today, I'm still kind of recovering from being sick last week. I went away camping and immune system was pretty taxed. So we're going to keep it pretty chill or keep it low intensity. We got about 10 more seconds here. And how's that feeling, by the way, Rosie?
Good. I can feel it definitely in my arms.
Yes. 3, 2, and time. So we're going to shake that out a little bit. And now, again, we got that kind of shoulder capsule in the arms warm and the limbs warm. So we're going to start to go through some range of motion. This one's kind of an interesting one. This is a pretty classic functional mobility movement. It's referred to a lot of times as teacups. And the idea behind it is I'm actually going to grab not a teacup, but a kind of flat surface here that will mimic a teacup. So I'm going to use, this is actually like a Bluetooth thermometer I used when I was camping, but we're going to hold something in our hand. And what we're trying to do is we're basically going to go like we're reaching behind our back. Like we want to scratch and itch behind our back. And instead of going to the back, we're going to actually go all the way around and swing it overhead. This is a very weird movement when you first start doing it. So I'm going to kind of creep in just to see how you're looking. I'm going to kneel down. A, so I can see the camera, Rosie, and B, you guys can see me. Yes, that's exactly it. Now we're going to do this for about, again, 3 to 5 reps or 30 seconds. So again, we're kind of reaching like there's an itch and then we're going overhead. Now I have been working on this quite a bit in my PT routine with my physical therapist. And in general, this is a great kind of movement I've used with a variety of clients. It's just awesome, honestly, for shoulder health and mobility to lubricate the joint. Now we can go multi-directional, but for today, we're going to keep it just in this one kind of pattern or direction, but it hits multiple planes, which is great. All right. And now we're just going to switch sides. So we're going to put, and you don't actually have to use an object here. You can do it without it. I'm just using this as the representation. And the reason we call it teacups is as you're going through it, you're thinking that you don't want to spill your teacup. So you're trying to keep that teacup relatively level. It's okay if it does happen to spill, but we don't actually have anything, hopefully, in our hands. How's that feeling, by the way? It's actually looking good.
It was
good. What we're looking for here, too, is if there's any stabbing or burning sensations. We're trying to see where the limiting kind of variables are, if any. And otherwise, again, we don't have to go as much to the range of motion. But as we start to do it, you'll probably start to notice things will open up a little bit more. Let's do one more time around. And then we're going to go into a We're going to go into a laying position. This one feels awesome. We don't always have to do it, but today I think it's very worthwhile to do to prep our body. So I'm going to kind of position everything so you can kind of see the floor. And what we're going to do is we're going to lay flat on our back on the floor. Normally we don't get into this position until we're done. But again, this is another one I'm pulling out from my own PT protocol. This one isn't specifically for just injuries. This to me is a great where I would categorize prehab movement, preventing injury, or like rehabilitative. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and have enough space. I'm going to go to my left side. So I'm going to be able to have my left arm all the way out. And I'm going to take my right arm and I'm going to just reach across my body as far as I can. And then until I can't reach anymore, I'm going to start to use my legs to kind of push me over. And I'm trying to get all the way out to my side. So my right hand's reaching all the way across my body. Now my right leg even goes across my body. So I'm trying to get as much of a stretch here as I can. We're going to hold for a couple seconds. And then we're going to start with our leg going back. So that kind of helps get some momentum. We feel a nice stretch. And then we bring it all the way across. So now we're going to do that for 5 reps. So we're going to go reaching across. And again, take your time here. Using your legs if you need to push you over. Getting a far reach, the leg crosses our body, and then we bring it back. Rosie, I'm going to check in on you while you're doing it just to see how it feels and looks. Yes. How's that feeling?
Good.
Yes, that's exactly it. So we get some nice thoracic spine rotation, some lumbar rotation, but it's also really good for our shoulder blades, the muscles around the shoulder blades. That also get a really nice stretch. But what we want to make sure is if there's pain, we're going to stop. We're not looking for pain here. Oh, yeah. It's just, I don't know about you, Rosie, but this feels like such a good stretch because I have so much.
This is nice. This is doable.
And the cool thing about this is also just a great core kind of rotational movement. It's not necessarily, it doesn't have to be super hard, but it's really good for our just overall digestive system and area. Anytime we can like rotate our body, not that this is the direct reason to do it, it's just an added bonus that can kind of help with digestion. It can kind of help with like, almost like wringing out a towel, as it were. That's not like the reason we do this. It's just a side bonus. Good morning from Nebraska. What's up, Lisa? How we doing? Good to see you. Thanks for checking in from Nebraska. All right, so now we're going to go to the opposite side once we've gotten 5 reps. And then, yeah. Yeah. No, we're not tweaking out here. We're actually, this is an intentional movement. I know it's freaky, but now, so now I'm taking our right arm, reach out. And what we're again trying to do is this is for a nice stretch. So we're reaching with our left arm across our body, trying to go as far as we can. And then we're bringing our leg actually across our body to enhance that stretch. You're trying to get as good of a stretch as you can. And then we'll bring our leg back and we come back. I'm going to go at my own pace. Rosie, you go at your own pace. Everyone at home, you guys go at your own pace. We're going for 5. Once we hit 5, we'll pause. And then we'll sit up. But this is, again, because we're going through a little bit of an upper body, shoulder, and arm workout today. We're really prepping the shoulders and the tissue around the shoulders. Oh, that feels so good. And the bonus I like about this, I feel a nice stretch even in my like hips. Feel a nice stretch even in my. I'm gonna untuck my shirt. It's just kind of in my hip complex because I also have a lot of tightness there. So this is like a nice paired movement. Oh yeah. Now the one thing I'm always curious, especially how you feel on this, Rosie, is sometimes we'll feel more or less tightness from one side to the other. So it's helpful to pay attention to both sides here and see what, if anything, we notice as far as tightness or any kind of like difference. Like for me, I notice I feel a lot more tightness in my right shoulder or scapula. And one thing I want to kind of show you guys, as Rosie's also finishing up here, I'm going to kind of turn around. I'm going to point to what we're looking for. So to give an idea, this is our shoulder blade. So when we're referring to our shoulder blade or the scapula, it's that bony bit, that like chicken wing bit on our back. And there's muscles, our rotator cuffs are connected to that as well as other muscles. This comes massively into play in not only our day-to-day life, but in a lot of our training for upper body, whether we're like on our phones. I know, Rosie, like I'm using my phone not only for like business, but for content, right? Like, so when we're on the phone, getting those kind of shoulder blades to come forward and it's not wrong. It's just being mindful of how much they're gliding into different positions and how they're moving around, and the bones on the back, how they move, and the muscles around them. So that's what we're kind of getting moving. So now we've kind of got them moved around a little bit. We're going to get into a arm and shoulder combo. So we're going to do a curl into a shoulder press. We've been playing a lot with press variations with other movements, like we'll do a squat to press, or this time we're basically going to do a curl to press. Now, the cool thing I want to invite for today that makes it a little bit more core oriented is a single knee version of it. So what I mean by that is, and Rosie, let's start with our yellow bands for the first set to just warm up, and then we'll kind of progress from there. As I have all of my LOF bands here. Got multiple sets even. So what I like to do for this, there's two ways we could do it. I mean, there's a variety of ways. We're going to take our long loop, but we can either use a door anchor and anchor it, but today we're not using a door anchor. I'm not going to set up by the door. Just know if you want to do that, you could totally anchor this to a door and do the same thing. And you can either have it anchored in front of you, to the side, or behind you. For today, what we're going to do is we're basically going to do a kneeling variation. So I'm going to take my right knee, and my right knee becomes the anchor for this movement. So, and depending on the surface you're doing this on, sometimes it's helpful to get a pad. Sometimes I'll have like knee pads and different things around here. Or if you want to, you can even roll up a towel or a pair of socks. Anything soft can be helpful, especially for you, Rosie, if there feels any discomfort. For my knees, I tend to baby them a little bit. So I'm actually going to grab my knee pad, but I just want to kind of show you guys the setup first. So I use my knee as an anchor point. So from the side, I'm kneeling on this, and there's a little bit of space between my foot and my knee. That's the anchor. And what we're going to do here is we have basically three ways to create resistance. We could go a two-handed version. So I have a nice wide stride, and I'm going to go both arms. I'm going to curl and press. Or we can do a single hand version where we put both the bands in one hand. If we want to really crank it up, we could curl and then we can press. Or for a third variation that could feel a little bit easier is we would just kind of loop these. And what I mean by that is you kind of take the two bands, you put one inside the other, and then you just kind of pull out the slack. So now you're only pulling on one. And again, that's what we're going to kind of start with today. I only want to have one band. We're not going to do both hands. We're going to start with one band. We're going to curl, and then we're going to press. We're going to try and press with our elbow tight and our palm in a neutral position once we curl it. So palm is facing away as we curl, and then we're going to turn it in and press straight overhead. And we're going to go for about 8 to 12 reps. So Rosie, I'm going to watch kind of on that first set. You guys, I just want to see a rep. I'm going to go get my knee pad, and then we're going to go through this one together, and then we can crank up the resistance as we need to. So here's what, again, I like to use. It's a simple like knee pad like this. There's a variety of different variations you can get from online, everywhere in between. And then again, I'll just kneel on it. We'll have our band slid under. And again, depending on how much tension you want, you could go both stacked together, or we can kind of just loop it here. All right. So, and what we can do as well is depending on the inside, or you could loop it where the band is on the outside. So what I mean by that is notice how the band's on the outside of my thigh versus on the inside. Kind of tends to feel a little bit nicer on the body to have it on the outside from my experience, so it's not rubbing on your leg as much. So we'll start with that. And again, we're going to go for 8 reps for the first round, and then we'll switch sides, and then we'll progress the weight as we need to. But first, I'm going to see, how's that setup feel, Rosie? I can always help us navigate as we need.
I think that, let's see if you could see me.
Yeah.
And then I have it underneath, both like this.
Perfect.
And then I can loop it in and then pull this one out and then go like this.
Exactly it. And if you want to, so I just want you to loop it the other way and see how it feels. There's a very nuanced difference, but the point is, see how it's on the outer part of your thigh now?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter for the resistance as much as it's comfort. So
okay.
I'm just, which one feels more comfortable for you? Some people don't really prefer. I'm just putting it on the outside because I think
this one feels fine. Like so this.
What we're going to think about is our elbow is glued to our rib cage. We're going to curl, and then we're going to go palm facing in and then press. And then we're just slowly coming down and reversing it. And again, we're going to do 8 of these together. So we're curling, turning our palm in, pressing. Coming down nice, slow, and controlled. Nice. There's 2. Curling, pressing, 3. Yes, good control, Rosie. Curling, pressing, 4. We're going for 8. And again, we can go all the way up to 12, but for the first round, we're just kind of warming up. Curling, here's 6. And again, for those of you following at home, you can skip past. I highly recommend not skipping past the warm-up and including at least 1 to 2 warm-up sets for your first exercise of any workout. All right, so now we're just going to switch sides. It's the same thing. We're switching our knee. We're going to switch the band setup. So we got it on the outer portion, if that feels okay. And the reason I also like the kneeling versus standing, when we're in this single knee down position, it helps get a little bit more of our stability in our core. We can even do both knees down as well. This also helps torso engagement, getting our core engaged. Having one up also just gives a little bit of a different stimuli and feel to it. So it's kind of like just getting different cues and prompts. But yeah, exactly. The fun anchor. And again, this is if you don't want to use a door. Using a door tends to be a little bit easier. But for today, I want to, so say you're out like camping in the woods like I was doing last week, or you're out in the park or whatever. Being able to do this becomes helpful. All right, so again, let's get 8 reps. We'll curl. Let's rock it, y'all. So I'm going to walk us through, but if you go a little bit faster than me, that's okay. But we're going for 8 reps. So slowly controlling. And that's the key, is on the way down especially. And with the bands, the thing about this is it's what's called accommodating or variable resistance. It's a fancy way of saying it's the hardest at the end. If you notice, Rosie, there's the most tension at the top part, but at the bottom, that's where it's like the weakest. It's kind of designed that way for a reason. So you can use more resistance where you're at your strongest. It helps from like an injury prevention or coming back from injury, or adding this to your weights. Like if you have dumbbells or barbells or things like that, this also becomes kind of cool. But even from a solo purpose, the key to this is to not just kind of jerk it around, because it's tempting to like press really fast and then come down really fast. We want to be able to, like we're doing, control it, especially at the top part when it's the most resistance. The goal is to control it. I'm going to stop ranting here. I'm going to do one more rep. And then we're going to take about 30 seconds. And then we're going to check in and see how we feel as far as the resistance, because we're going to do 3 working sets of this. So I want to check in with you, Rosie. I want to check in and see if anyone has questions in the comments. How'd that feel?
That was good. I definitely know that I need more arm strength. But like especially the pushing up, but it doesn't hurt. Like I just you're getting used to using muscles that you don't frequently use. So
exactly. And that's
I still feel like I'm being challenged, but it's not impossible.
Good. And so what we'll do is, and that's why I kind of want to use this first round. The cool thing about having a warm-up round is we can use it to test our resistance as well. So what we're trying to do, the more reps you have, the more experience, it's easier to decide the weight. But the first time we're doing it, that's why a warm-up round becomes so important, because like, all right, cool. That was 8 reps at our yellow band resistance, which is about 15 pounds of resistance at the top end, 8 pounds of resistance at the bottom. The reason I bring this up is we want to think about on a scale of 1 to 10, and the way we reference this is 10 means I could do 0 more reps. 9 means I could do 1 more rep. 8 means I could do 2 more reps. 7 means I could do 3 more reps, and so on. So when we think about it, and it's then subjective, how many reps do you think you had left in you? Do you think it was more than 5? Do you think it was maybe 3? Do you think you were right at the maybe like couple left? Or do you think you could have done maybe 10 more? I know it's a very wide range.
Yeah, I definitely could have did a couple more. I feel like maybe like 3 or 4 more, and that would have been fine.
Perfect. So that means we're at about like what we would say is, as for what's called an RPE, a rate of perceived exertion, it's a fancy name, means that we're about at a 6 or a 7. And for the training we're going to do today, we want to be at about a 7 or maybe an 8. And what we're going to do is we're going to just keep that same weight now, but we're going to crank up the reps. And we're going to go for 10 to 12. Okay. So that means that at about 10, we should be closer to like maybe you have 2 more reps left in the bank without form compromising. So we'll do the same exact thing, but now we're shooting for 10. Okay. So I'm going to get set up. I talked through the whole rest period. I'm going to also swap out the bands, but we're going to go for 10. So I'm going to pick a round or a weight and a resistance that'll hit 10 for me as well. And then we'll get into our fun. And what's cool about this is actually I could take the same band, I could literally double it up. So if it's 15 pounds with one at the top end, if I double them and I stack them on top of each other, it'll be about 30. But I'm actually going to go with an interesting challenge here and see how my 60 pounds of bands feel on this one. And it might be a little lofty, but that's why I'm going to keep my yellow bands ready to go as backup, because sometimes I get a little overzealous. All right, so I'm going to scooch back. Make sure we got our good. I'm just going to play with the angle here so you guys can kind of see from my right side. And again, Rosie, I want you to go at your tempo. I'm going to go at mine. We're going for 10 reps. Once you hit 10, let's switch those sides. So again, we're curling. Oh, yeah, I can totally feel that. And pressing. So see how at the very top, I have to be very intentional to control. That's how I know I got good resistance here. Right? For me, it feels good. What I like to do, if you guys kind of notice this, when I'm curling, I put my elbow between the two bands. You can also put it on the outside, but it makes it even harder, which is fine if you want more resistance, but I kind of want that sweet spot of putting my elbow right between, and then it's a little bit less friction pressing and stacking through. How's that feeling, Rosie?
That's good.
Yeah, I might even have to drop set here. I'm getting the 6 and I'm feeling it. Whew. We're getting it. We're getting it. One more. All right, so we're going to switch those sides for me. And then this is what I love about having kids. I just notice like little pockets of food on the floor.
Always got a little snack somewhere.
Yeah, and I think that's the pro of having a dog, though, is like usually when Misha's not recovering from a broken leg, she's out and about roaming and cleaning things up. But she's recovering from that broken leg. She's just fortunately been in her crate a whole bunch. So we'll have our natural vacuum. All right, so we're going to go. Same thing on the opposite side now. So again, going for our 10 reps. So we're curling. Get it, Rosie. And then as you get more comfortable with like the lapping and looping and setup, it'll become faster.
It goes faster.
Yeah. And the other thing too, this is why we included our door anchor, because that's the easiest. Again, I wanted to just give us an option without having to go through a door. And the other thing I will say is like the one caveat I'm working on with the manufacturer is because of the material, it doesn't always feel great rubbing on your skin. We do have, you can always clip the handles on this, but being mindful of like how we can even coat it with particular like covers or powders to make it feel less resistant.
Yeah.
On our skin. So I just want to acknowledge that's always not necessarily the greatest feeling. Yeah, man, I can feel, even for me, the discrepancy from left to right. My right side is obviously my strong side as a righty. And I can feel, since getting off of my PT injury, two more. One more on this side for me. You got it, Rosie, wherever you're at.
Yeah.
You guys got it.
Smacking you.
Yeah, you're just perfect. We got good tempo. So we're going to take a rest. I'm definitely going to have to drop set on that. What I mean by that, or drop the weight on the next set. That was like really pushing it. That was probably a 9 or even like a 10 for me of the RPE scale, meaning I really didn't have any reps left in the bank without compromising form or like starting to become a jerky movement. So I dropped the weight going from the black 60-pound bands. And this is the cool part to the bands. Our red bands are 30. Our yellow bands are 15. So when I stack them together, they become 45. So it's a nice transition, dropping down from 60 pounds of resistance with the black bands, going down to 45. So it's not a huge jump from 60 down to 30. We got, let's see, 15 more seconds. I lied, like 17 technically. So Rosie, what's going down this weekend? I feel like you always got awesome stuff going on.
This weekend, what? I forgot what I had this weekend. This weekend,
Like, what's going on?
I think I have something on Sunday. I don't know about tomorrow. I forgot what I was doing tomorrow. Oh, there's something that my mom signed the kids up for tomorrow, but I think I took it kind of light this weekend because I was so busy like the last like 2 weekends, and then I have stuff next weekend. So I think I have something for the kids tomorrow in the morning, and then Sunday, I forgot what it is. There's just so many events. I had like so many things this week just during the week alone. So I try to break it up. Like if the week was really busy, I try to keep the weekend light or vice versa because I still need to get like content and editing done.
Yes.
And Amazon and filming. My Amazon filming is like so behind right now.
Dude, that's why at this point, like the one thing I'm actually grateful for is at least nowadays, I don't know if this happens to you yet, people reach out to me. And they'll obviously like people will just spam and like do automated, like, oh, like, can I sell you this service or whatever? But sometimes people genuinely reach out. I'm like, hey, do you want an internship? Like, I'm always down for like, if you want college credit and you can do a paid internship that turns into a paid internship that turns into an actual job. And I break it down to like 100-day blocks. So I actually have like, we're going to see with this, a non-paid intern that is going to get some credit that will hopefully turn into an actual paid position. But anyways, let's go round 2. Rob, you better be following along at home, doing this workout. All right. So again, we're getting our curl. And Rob, today, this is arms and shoulders. Rob, this is your favorite muscle group combo. My buddy Rob's in the comments. I always love when he jumps in because he's personality to say the least. And also loves doing the arm workout. And I saw that other comment on TikTok, but I'll get to you. Again, we're going for 10 here. If you get to 10, for everyone even just watching at home, and you're like, you know what, I could go 2 more. I want you to go to your top range until you get to 12. If you get to 12 and you still have more than 2 reps in the tank, you got to adjust the weight. So we're looking to stay at about a 7 or an 8 RPE, which means you have about 2 to 3 reps left, and that's it. All right, there's 10. Let's switch those sides. We'll check in. We'll see what we got questions-wise. Workout in your apartment. Yeah, Izzy girl. So sorry, you can't see in the other chat that I have. There's someone commenting. So sorry. On TikTok, I realize you guys don't see anyone. You just see me. So you think I'm crazy and talking to myself. On my other stream, I'm doing this in like 8 different platforms. We have Rosie, who's also here on TikTok. If you guys aren't following Int Wellness Mombi, you need to. He's awesome. And then, Rob, getting your rotator cuff stretch on. Okay. Rob, you at work or you home? Getting your stretchies on. And yeah, Rosie, I'm trying to think. I feel like I was going to ask you something. Oh, actually, so here's my question. So me and Gina, we still are going to talk about some stuff, but we're trying to eye out a potential retreat in like South America somewhere. Or cool. If you could pick a retreat outside of this country, or like South America, Asia, Europe, Africa, like where would you want to go?
Asia, Europe.
Oh man, my left side is.
Let's see. Where was I looking at? Thailand is nice.
Where is it?
Thailand?
Thailand, yeah, for sure.
Thailand, or what else? Like India is really, I feel like there's a lot of places. Like I would want to do like India, Africa, Japan. Like I feel like a lot of those places have like very spiritual, depending on the area that you go to.
It's a good point. Yeah, Thailand was great. I've been there once. but stayed there for like 6 months. So I guess that counts for a decent amount of time. And
Italy might be nice, Italy and Europe.
Italy's a good one. I love that. We're gonna take a minute here, y'all. So here's the one thing I just realized. Timing wise, a little bit off. So we might end up turning this into 2 hard working rounds, and now we might transition into triceps because I want to make sure we have time not only for the shoulders but also and biceps, but also for our triceps. So we're going to take a minute, and then we're going to go into our tricep exercise next, which is going to go from that same position, this single knee down position. We're just going to work through a different range of motion and get the back of our arms. Nice. In bed doing hip flexors. Nice. Yes, it's a Friday average morning.
I'll start a list. I'll do some researching and look into some other areas for retreats, and then I'll shoot it to you.
Yeah, I'd love and even you guys watching, if you have any preferences. Rob, where would you go on a retreat? Not a cult conference, but like a genuine health retreat. Because we're actually working out something in Joshua Tree. Still, we have our great home base there. I'm going to be honest, guys, I don't think it's going to be realistic for us to acquire a property in another probably 3 years. The game plan was in the next 6 to 18 months, but I really don't want to negotiate for a financial deal that's higher interest that we really can't have cash
flow. You want to rush into something that you want to have for a really long time.
Yes. Ooh, New York City. So Rob, my friend Rob, I'm talking about, he lives in the village, and he's he would not.
Oh, is that the one with the business?
Yes.
Indoor, outdoor. Oh, yes.
Yes, the
last time he was here. Yeah. Hi. I remember.
Yes. He doesn't leave the village. He just bought an apartment in the village.
Oh God.
So dude. But it's actually a beautiful space, but again, now really financially locked in. Yeah. So anyways, if you guys have requests, so Rob's saying New York City, Rosie, I think Italy's a really good one. I like that.
Yeah. The Hamptons was really nice when you guys did that, but if you're looking at outside of the country, there's a lot of really nice, depending on the vibe that you want to go to, because India has a really spiritual area. Japan is really nice. I feel Italy with the food is really cool because they have such different cuisine that we actually eat here than the Italian food.
Dude, I love. So Carrie and I are talking. We want to do our honeymoon in Japan when we actually get married. So that's another thing. We're even debating on how we're going to do our wedding, because the goal was to originally get married on the property, and we're like, dude, do we really want to wait 3 years before we get married? So we might just do a different style wedding and then just do our honeymoon in Japan. That would be dope. What's Rob's also, you got a great point. This is what Rob's got a really good point. Is and you know this, Rosie, you're in New York, you're on Long Island. Cool thing about New York is that he's we have Thailand, India, we got the Philippines, we even have Scientology. You got everything in New York. Just depends on which part you go to. That's true. You could hit every single culture pretty much.
Oh yeah, even going upstate and getting going to PA, there's different vibes of going just outside of you could find different things around here too, not too far away, but
100%. So what we're going to do, y'all, is we're going to hit our triceps. We're going to go back to that same kneeling position. I'm going to say we stay with the yellow bands. I'm going to actually drop back down for this one because of that. And what we're going to do is we're going to basically bring the band behind our back. So I'm going to take this band. I'm going to have my right knee down. I'm going to take my right hand. My left hand's the actual one that's doing the work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of turn to my backside so you guys can kind of see. I'm passing the bands to my left hand now. So we're going to start at this top position, and we're just hinging down and trying to almost we're scratching an itch between our shoulder blades, and then straight up. And we're going to go for, again, 10 to 12 reps. I'm probably going to go 12. This feels like a nice stretch. 2, this will be our first warm-up round for this, and we'll do 2 hard working rounds.
Does this look like I'm doing it right when you're done?
On you.
The band goes here and in the back? And then I'm pulling?
Yes. Let me get in a little bit closer just to make sure. Yes, that's it. And what you can do is, depending on how you want the resistance, you can even. So that one's, I like that because it's not the most resistance. It's a nice even ground, especially for our warm-up. And then what we can do is we can even anchor it just by our foot. So it goes straight behind our back and doesn't go in front of us at all. Another way is basically so it goes under our shin. So it's totally behind my back, nothing in front. And then we'll just grab it. So it's kind of a little bit more anchored now to my shin versus the knee. And we're getting this nice stretch. And the cool thing about the bands is I can either grab it all the way at the top, and it'll be a little bit more slack, Or I could choke up on the band and grab it where now there's slack at the top, but it's really taut at the bottom and gives us a little more tension. But again, this first round, we're just trying to get, 10 to 12 reps, warm tissue, and then we're going to do 2 hard working sets. How's that feel though, Rosie?
Good. I moved it where you said to move it, and now it's a little bit better without the band in front of my face.
Yeah, now it just feels a little bit less comfortable. You could do it, but it just rubs on us and doesn't feel as good.
Yeah. And some of us have stuff in front of us.
Yeah, you got the female anatomy.
More body parts in the way.
Yeah, we get that female anatomy that gets to help. Or not helping that, I guess, that situation. So what we're going to do is once we hit 10 to 12, we're going to switch sides. We can do the same thing on the opposite side. And again, what I find helps is for this one, we can still anchor it on our knee, but I find it's just helpful to do it behind a little bit more by looping it onto my foot first, so it's easier to stay behind me. And we're still anchoring it from our knee down, but now it's just kind of pulling on the shin so that it stays behind us. And again, we're just going to choke up, or I'm going to choke up here. I'll pull my hoodie up so you guys can kind of see a little bit more. And again, we're going 10 to 12 reps. So we get nice full range. The key here is nice full range of motion. That's why the shoulder warm up to start becomes really helpful, because this is a really nice even stretch for our shoulders. And one of the things I always invite is see which side, again, feels tighter, which side feels stronger. If it feels the same, that's fine. It's always interesting to see what insight we gain. Boom. All right, so now we're going to rest. We're going to rest for a minute, and then we're going to go into 2 hard working rounds. That was our warm-up round, then we're getting the muscles activated. Now we're going to get into some working rounds after that. All right, so I'm going to set our timer. We're going to take a minute, and I got 2 quick things to share, actually, with y'all. I guess technically 3, and it's related to our office hours. So I was sick over the last week, on and off. So I moved our normal Tuesday office hours this week to tomorrow night. I'm going to be doing basically the first 7 days after breaking your rhythm, which is especially figuring it's just Easter and Passover. We're going to go over what does the next 7 days look like to get you back on your routine. Then Rob, actually, who's in the comments, Rob's going to be coming on the next office hours on Tuesday to talk about his journey. Because fun fact, Rosie, Rob's been a buddy of mine since I was 8 or 10. I don't even know how, it's been almost 30 years. And he's gone through his own health journeys, right? So we'll talk about that on Tuesday with Rob. And then the following week, Rosie, you're going to actually be on. So we're going to talk about your just whole journey. We'll talk about the retreat a little bit. We'll talk about a variety of, I think, components related to that and your experience even over the 100 days, or we haven't finished out our 100 days yet, but just your experience and your own health journey even before with me. So I think there's valuable insight to that. And then we actually, 2 weeks after that, I'm going to have another guest on who's another one of my clients that's about to be under 300 pounds for the first time, I think, since high school. And he's
wow,
was wrestler, football player, big offensive lineman, probably lost almost 100 pounds. So the point is we're going to be having a lot of stories over the next couple of weeks on different people's perspectives and vantage points, because I've been doing a lot of talking, which I clearly love, but I like to hear different stories and perspectives from different people. And hopefully you guys like that as well. That's been a request I've kind of had. So with that being said, I kind of talked through the whole rest period. Rosie, we're going to get back to our triceps. It's going to be the first working set. What I mean by that, so since I showed you guys the front angle or the back angle, I'm going to go from the front now. And I'm going to kind of just give you a side profile. And again, we're working towards 10 to 12 reps. And we want how did the resistance feel for you, by the way, Rosie? So I want it to be challenging, but not so challenging where you feel like you can't do it or it's painful.
Yeah, I feel like I could do this. I feel it's a challenge, but it's not impossible.
Perfect. And then what we can do, and kind of what I was showing is, again, we can grab all the way at the end, but if that feels easy and we don't want to go up in resistance totally to the next band, you can just choke up a little bit. So you can kind of pull slack out in the band part, and then there's a little bit of slack at the top. And that gives us a little bit more resistance. It makes it just a bit harder without getting too much. So again, we're going to get full range of motion. We're going up, and we're going for 12 here. Oh, yeah, that stretch feels good. It feels good to work out, because I've been just doing so much rehab and PT stuff over the last couple of weeks. And besides the workout we did Friday And I've been doing some like deadlift and chest press, but to do like arms accessory stuff feels really nice.
Are you supposed to be doing this?
Yeah, this is like based on what I've talked about in my PT. He's like, yeah, dude, you could totally do it. The reason I kind of skipped it was like more of my immune system. I've just been so run down lately. I've noticed that's honestly over the last probably like 3.5 years. I've actually been more sick over the last 3 years than I have in like the last 10. And I just think there's a variety of things related to, oh man, I'm not going to get to 12. I'm getting to 10 and then I'm done.
Yep.
I've just been like going through a divorce, like that was stressful. Just like the hurricane and like financial stressors and all these things. Like the point is there's been a lot of like stress to my system, and I can tell my immunity has like struggled with that. So all of this is to say like the bigger, heavier lifts, like doing big deadlifts and bench press and doing those types of things, as much as I enjoyed it, I was like, all right, I'm going to not do it as much. I did a little bit, and it's really taxing on the system, but doing the like accessory work, this is what I miss that I can actually do. That's why I'm not doing as much of like the deadlift, bench press, kind of transition from that. All right, y'all. So now let's go to the opposite side. And again, this is the one key thing. Sometimes on one side, you can do more or less reps than the other. I don't like to. So for example, on my left side, I could only do 10. If on my right side, I could do 11 or 12, I'm going to stop at 10 because I don't want there to be a progressive imbalance from my left to right. That's why I like doing single limb or unilateral side stuff. It allows us to kind of really pinpoint potential imbalances or weaknesses, but we don't want to push harder on one side than the other. Unless in a physical therapy sense, if my left side was injured, I would push as much as I can. But if I can't do any more, I'm going to get my right side to at least maintain a certain baseline level of strength. So that's 10. We're going to rest for a minute, and we're going to do one more hard set. And then we're pretty much going to stretch and bring it home from here. But I wanted to like restate what I was just saying, because I feel like maybe sometimes I'm long-winded. What I'm saying is there's two scenarios. If we're doing, let's say, the triceps, and you're just normally going through your training routine, and you notice on the right side you could do 12, left side you could do 10. If you do your left side first and you did 10, don't do more than 10 on your right side with the same weight. The only caveat to that is if you're coming off an injury like me, or coming off rotator cuff or something like that, and your PT or in your program, it tells you, okay, you're going to do as many reps as you can on the left side, but normally on the right side, you can do 12, go to 12 to maintain that baseline level of strength. But we're not trying to, in my mind, and even when I talk to the PT and I think about our team and our physicians and our corrective exercise specialists, all that, I don't want to exacerbate the imbalance anymore. So on my strong side, I don't want my strong side to necessarily get that much stronger than my weak side. I want my weak side to catch up first. Anyways, I'm going to pause there, see if there's questions, A, and then B, I'm going to check it with you, Rosie, because we got one more set. And then we're going to stretch and get out of here. How are we doing on time for you?
Good. I'm fine. I feel like all I'm ever doing is trying to find space on one of my phones so that I could do something. I'm like deleting videos so I could do another video. That's it. But yeah, no, we're doing good on time. What do you think about I sourced the what is it called? Calisthenics? What is that?
Calisthenics. Oh yeah. So let's talk about calisthenics for a second. Yeah, that's a great question. So calisthenics, if I oversimplify it, what that's really referring to is just body weight movements.
Yeah.
A variety of ways we can apply calisthenics. Calisthenics are really actually powerful thing. You can do a total body workout with calisthenics alone without any additional equipment. I think it's really powerful. And what you can do is you can do progressions and regressions. That's essentially making it harder, making it easier, with like 3 basic movements, maybe even 5 movements, I think, that cover the entire body. So one will be a squat. Squats are like super powerful, very obviously lower body driven, but even total body effective. And there's variations of it where you could do your heel elevated squats. You could do single leg squats. You could do multi-plane squats, or like a curtsy squat where you're squatting with one leg, your opposite leg can either go out to the side or goes across your body. There's a variety to do that. So that's like my 2 cents on what calisthenics are, is body weight oriented movements, but they also allow you to have a certain level of mastery with your body and control, which is awesome. The tricky thing that becomes hard for a lot of people is they don't know where to start, because like, oh, I can't do a push-up, I can't do a pull-up, I can't do a single leg squat, or I can't do a full regular body weight squat. So like I don't know where to start, how to regress it. So sometimes using a machine, using bands or different things cables becomes easier. But there is ways to progress, like doing push-ups from our knees, being able to do a squat to a platform, or being able to go as much range of motion as you can, and then you open it up over time. Even for a pull-up, not doing a regular pull-up, you focus on what we call the negative. So for example, a squat negative would be if I can't do a full squat without my body giving out, I would just focus on sitting my butt to the chair. And eventually when my body gives out, I would just sit down. And then I would just use my arms to help me stand up and then focus on the control until my body gives out. So that's like one of the key aspects of calisthenics is knowing, and that's where a great coach can come into play, or having a piece of content series that you trust guide you through that. So anyways, yeah, that's a little bit of a long-winded answer, but does that help, Rose? Your thoughts?
Yeah. It's funny because you know how like I post like our video like of the workout, and basically the algorithm knows I do some fitness stuff, so I get like all these like whatever, it feeds me stuff. So I've been getting a lot of like calisthenic videos, and I'm like, okay, which is I definitely see where like they do the squat with one leg and then they put the other leg behind it. Like I've seen a lot of that. So, but I feel like it's like there's just different styles of workouts and whatnot.
Yeah, it's 100%. It's just, to me, I think they're all valuable. That's the cool thing with training is, and let me know once it looks like you're pretty much in position, right? You good?
Yeah.
All right, and I'll keep talking while we're going through it. So I'm going to keep count too. I'm going to go for 10. If I can go to 12, I'll go to 12, but probably going to hit 10. Having like, you could just work calisthenics and you could see a lot of progress, especially when you're a beginner or you're new to any training program or training method. You'll see more results because it's new to your system. As you get more, let's say, adjusted to it, you have to be very, very calculated with how you do it, how you're changing your program, and being very intentional. You can basically make less mistakes because you have to be more dialed in. Your body's a little bit more accurate. All right, so now we're going to switch those sides. So the reason I'm saying all this is like, I don't like just saying, oh, I'm just going to do calisthenics for the next like couple of years. Yeah. You could do it and you're master it and you can get great progress. I'm a big fan of like, cool, I'm going to do, a combination of like, I like doing VO2 max training, which is advanced of saying like really hard, intense stuff, but I don't always do it. I do like once or twice a week. I'll also do like full body strength training. I'll do body part training. I like doing martial arts training. So it's like mixing things up to help not burn out, but to also have because it depends on our intention, like having a hybrid style body. I want to be able to like, if I need to pick my kids up and run, like if there's an emergency, like why I train. Good morning. I see you on Amazon. So that's like my 2 cents too, is like, hey, if you just want to get really good at controlling your body, calisthenics is awesome. Yoga is a great move even there too. All right, so let's go the opposite side. But if you want to have the ability to like lift heavy to protect your body and to functionally move, if you want to be able to like run if there's an emergency or something like that, then it's like important to train in a variety of methods. But it's also like, what are we doing? Why are we doing it? Right? Like some people are like, hey, I just want to be healthy. And then being even specific, because that's like, I'm going to have calls after this. And a lot of times I talk to people when they work with me and our team is like, what does health mean to you? Like what's healthy for me versus what's healthy for you, Rosie, for Rob, for Lisa, for all these people watching? It's going to look different. So anyways, I'm going to stop ranting. I'm curious your thoughts on that, though, Rosie. It's like,
I think it's nice I personally think doing a combination of things because, each thing targets different stuff. It's different strengths and challenges. And I feel like our body responds better to that. Like you're not like adapting, like it gets kind of bored of doing the same thing, or like you're like not really changing it up or like increasing the challenge. So I definitely think like it's like nice doing a little bit of everything. And you get less likely to get bored with it too. So like you're more likely to stick to it because you don't feel like you're doing something repetitive. But I think it's like so even with like the Pilates or the yoga or like just strength training, I feel like it's nice rotating. You're hitting different muscles. You're not getting bored.
100%. Yeah, I think that's a great point. And but again, I don't want to tell anyone what to think. And also, what's up? My name's Seabass. It's almost like Seabass, but it's like Seabass. I want to say like Spanish C and then Bass.
I think if somebody really loves something and it works for them, then like that's great. Like if you only want to do yoga and you find like that's your thing, whatever, it's like maintaining your weight or building your strength, and do it. Like, but for me personally, I feel like I like working different muscles. I like doing different, movement. I like the variety. And as somebody who has to lose a significant or has a lot of, work to do, I feel like it's better for me to do a combination of things. But I know some people that they're all about Pilates or yoga, and that's cool. Like that's whatever.
Yeah.
If that's what gets you moving every day, then that's amazing.
Dude, you bring up a really good point, actually. So I appreciate you mentioning that aspect of like, or what it prompts for me is like, hey, if you have something you enjoy, great, continue to do it. Like I enjoy martial arts, so like I'm gonna train that no matter what the rest of my life. Ironically, I'm actually embarrassed to say, like, I tend to only go to martial arts classes now, maybe once a month. I do solo martial arts training every day. My point of saying that is I enjoy martial arts. I'm always going to do that. In any style of training, here's what I would invite, though. This is what you're prompting make me think of. And while we're doing this, let's just get through some stretches. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our bands down. We're going to first stretch our shoulders. So we're going to take our right arm and just bring it across our body. It's kind of an old school stretch, but it's an old school yet effective one. And we're just going to hug that arm in. And we're going to hold it here for about 30 seconds. I got us on the clock. And what I'm saying here is, for example, let's say running. Running is a very classic, accessible, any form of cardio for the most part. If you're just doing cardio, you can lose a tremendous amount of weight, but a lot of times the trade to doing cardio, especially if we're doing like zone 2 or zone 3, even zone 4 type of training, mostly zone 3, is you'll improve your aerobic capacity, your cardiovascular system, and time. Let's just switch those sides. But usually it's coming at the cost of your muscle mass, your lean body mass in certain areas. I'll give you an example. If you're running and you want to improve your run time and you're just pushing your cardiovascular and you're training and you're running and you're not changing your nutrition at all, you're just literally training, your body, for the most part, it's going to be very intelligently approached and want to be as efficient as possible. So if you're using your legs a lot when you're running, but you're not using a lot of your upper body muscles, it might start to lose some of its upper body muscle mass or even lower body muscle mass that doesn't align with endurance style training. So that's why even like hybrid style training becomes important, and rest. Let's shake those arms out. And now what we're going to do is we're going to get those triceps. Since we just did those, we're going to take our right hand. We're going to reach overhead and kind of behind our back as best we can without pain or discomfort. And we take our opposite arm and just kind of pull. We'll get a nice little stretch here. And the point of me saying this is being able to do weight training, sometimes that loses and lowers your cardiovascular capability, your VO2 max, but it puts on a lot of lean body mass. So being able to do some type of cardiovascular training, some type of resistance training, whether it's calisthenics, weight training, kettlebells, whatever that looks like, and then also having some sense of a functional range of motion routine, whether that's yoga, Pilates, you could call it stretching if you want to simplify it, but there's a difference between having flexibility and mobility. To me, flexibility is like in a static position, you can do a split. A mobile body is one that can use that range of motion, but apply force. So you could do a split, but you could also like apply force while doing it and rest or hold load or resist something. So now we'll do the opposite side. So being able to say, yeah, not only if we want to lower, like, let's say our body composition or lower our body fat while putting on muscle, we can do things for that, but also can I like turn and reach behind me in the back of my car and pick up my backpack without getting hurt? I've literally, when I was heavily weight training without doing other functional range of motion training, I literally actually hurt my back just reaching into the side of my car, pulling out my backpack because I was so focused on like deadlifting and bench pressing that my rotational body movements weren't strong. And let's rest. So that's pretty much going to do it for our arms. The only thing we're going to add to this is for our biceps. So the only caveat, we're going to find something, whether we want to use a couch, a wall, something that's still. We're going to take our thumb and we're just going to put our thumb onto that platform. We can technically even do it on the floor. And all we're going to do is we're going to turn away. So my right arm is against, I have a little cabinet right here. My thumb is against it. I'm just turning my body and I'm feeling a nice stretch going down my bicep into my shoulder. And we're going to hold that for about 15 seconds and then we'll switch. But yeah, I'm curious, like your thought, because you mentioned was like, yes, being able to have variety so you don't get bored, but also then you're hitting multiple checkpoints. You have cardiovascular health, you're having your muscle mass, you're being able to maintain that, you have good range of motion, and that's like really, I think, impactful too, and time. So now let's do the same thing on the opposite side. I'm going to anchor myself and I'm just going to rotate this way. Oh, that feels so good. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and time. And booyah, y'all. that is going to do it for, again, that was a more shoulder arm oriented workout. The actual workout portion of that was probably about 35, 40 minutes. Kind of talk for a minute, and then we did a little bit of extra warm up and stretching, which I highly recommend you do. But even all of this was under an hour. You can whittle it down and make it 20, 30 minutes if you're very efficient with it. And we cut down on some of the talking. So save this if that's helpful. Come back to it. Again, feel free to ask questions, not only live, but in the replay. I'll come back and I'll answer them. And if you guys aren't already, please make sure you're following, subscribing, as well as for Rosie on Inked Wellness Mombi. And Rosie, I always like to kick it to you to see what if anything you want to plug, promote, what's going down. How can the people stay in tune with you?
Yeah. I just did a photo shoot yesterday, and I will be doing a couple more photo shoots. So I'm excited to see what that's gonna bring. That's and then what else do we have going on? We have a lot of now that spring, summer's here, a lot of pop-up networking events coming. So, if anybody follows along, if you're local and you want your more eyes on your business or maybe some connections. I know I brought Gina out, and now she's addicted and she comes to a lot of things, and some of them are free and some of them are not. So you have to it could get a little bit pricey, but it's definitely an investment in yourself and your business, and you don't know really who you're going to meet. And there's been so many times you get clients or customers or a referral. So it's especially here in New York, there's just so many possibilities, and it opens doors that you don't necessarily, even know that there existed. I've definitely done some things that I was like, oh, I could get paid for this. Okay. I've been in a few courses now. I've done some speeches, and, you got to get out of your comfort zone and try to in the community. I feel like it definitely helps. Social media is amazing, and you could touch different areas, different states. You could reach a wider audience, but also nurturing what you have wherever you are is important too. And I know, thankfully, here in New York, on Long Island, we have a lot of opportunities, but taking advantage of it, even if it's once a month or once every other month, just popping in and seeing who you can meet or collaborate with, because that helps too, especially if you're on all these social media platforms. But there's lots of things coming, and if you follow definitely on me, I'll definitely be sharing some stuff.
Yeah, I got to give you the props. That's one thing I really appreciate about you. And also it's cool to see you connect with Kyle.
Oh my God. He's like, I know, Mike. And I'm like, I was like, I think I'm cheating on Mike by coming. I was like, I can't go Friday. He's like, you have Friday available? I was like, no. I was like, I have Mike.
That's good. Dude, I love Kyle. I don't know if Kyle told you, but he's literally one of my best friends. And so Kyle runs Stretch Flow. If you're out in Long Island in the New York area, check out Stretch Flow. Kyle is the owner and founder. He's got a great team as well now of therapists that work with him. I met him through the UFC gym, actually, when we were both trainers at the UFC gym. And then we trained together, fought together, competed together. He was actually at my wedding. He sang at my wedding with my first wife, and just traveled with just great dude. I love him. And it was cool to see his journey. He's still in Long Island. But yeah, I was glad to see you guys connect, because he's awesome. So
yeah, I see him next week. I forgot when, but gonna do a little bit of reels for him as well too. And plus I know yesterday, was it yesterday or 2 days ago, whenever you called, I was there, and I had a knot in my back, so he was helping me.
Yeah. I remember you saying that. And yeah, it was just cool, because also I think Gina was there too, right? You were there with Gina?
Yeah, so she booked right before me, and I booked right after, and then I was filming her a little bit, she filmed me a little bit.
That's perfect. Yeah, I'm excited, because I know Kyle's been really investing in his social media game, and I know I'm excited for him to continuously grow. We're working even continuously on how do we even add his services into the insurance game a little bit. So yeah, I'll keep you posted on that too. This, as you've I've indirectly kept you posted, it's been a very interesting process. So those of you following along on our even insurance journey, we've been finding what works, what doesn't work, how do we code things, what all the back end stuff that's not super sexy, but it's very impactful. But yeah, if you guys even have inquiries, you want to see if you have insurance and you can work with us, you can go to our website, lifestyleoffitness.com. We have both cash options. You use your HSA, FSA, you could use insurance potentially now, and all the things in between. So that being said, though, I'm going to go get ready. I got to jump into a call, and I appreciate you. Thanks for kicking butt with me as always.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, everybody. See Bass. I appreciate you, Rob and Lisa and Izzy and everybody that jumped in, and I missed a couple on YouTube too. Appreciate you guys. Genius. That's funny. But yeah, all right. I'll see you guys tomorrow if you want to catch the office hours. Rob will be on next Tuesday. Me and Rosie will be probably working out next week, and then the following week, Rosie will be on too. So
yes. Thank you, Mike. Have a good day. We'll talk soon, and thank you for everybody that tuned in. I appreciate it.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Talk to you soon.